Hello, it's Alex with the Salvation Army, back with another drum lesson for you. And today we're going to talk about some 16th notes. Sprinkle in some 16 notes on our snare drum and work them into some of the familiar beats that we've already been working with. So far we've been doing everything based around 8th notes with our kick drum and our snare drum. And today we're going to do 16th notes. So as we know, we count 8th notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 16th notes, since it's twice as many that need to fit within our measure. The way we count them is 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and. That gives us 16 notes within a 4-beat measure. For these exercises today, rather than playing 16 notes the entire way through, we're just going to kind of sprinkle some 16 notes in here and there, all of them on our snare drum. So our hi-hat's going to stay the same as we've been doing so far, all 8th notes on our hi-hat. Our kick drum's going to move around a little bit, but it's going to be in some familiar places that we've already gotten comfortable with. So our snare drum is the thing we're going to be really working on, kind of sprinkling in 16 notes here and there to create some cool patterns. So let's get started. First one we have up today is a really simple 16th note groove here. Up front, we're going to have 2 kick drums on 1 and. Difference today is in between those 2 kick drums, we're going to throw a snare drum all by itself. So we have, and the way we're going to count that is 1 and, 1 E and. So we have 1 and 2. Let's keep our snare on 2 with our hi-hat. And now we repeat that same exact phrase we just did. 3 and 4 and. So we have that snare drum in between our kick drum hits. That's going to be our 16th note in this pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Nice and simple. Take that slow until it feels comfortable, and when we speed it up, it starts to kind of sound pretty cool. That's our first intro to some 16th notes. So let's try something a little bit different. Second beat. I'm going to have 4 of them for you here today so we can, make a little progress there, okay? Second beat, we're going to do almost the same thing, except 2 kick drums up front. We're only going to have 1, but we're going to have that snare drum coming directly after our kick drum on E. So we have 1 E. Snare drum's all by itself, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Kick drum on the and of 4. So we have kick drum on 1, snare drum on E all by itself. Hi-hat is the and of 1 all by itself. 2 and is a kick drum. 3 is a kick drum. E is another snare all by itself. And 4 and. Okay? All together we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Let's speed that up, see what we got. So in the beginning when we're working on this, it might feel a little bit weird, it might feel a little bit tricky. Just take your time and understand that these 16th note snare drums are happening in between everything, all by themselves, okay? 1, E, and kind of going back and forth with our hands. Keep that in mind and just keep practicing slowly until we build up speed here, okay? Next one we're going to have 2 kick drums on 1 and, no 16th note in between them this time, just 2 kick drums. We're going to keep our snare on 2, so we have 1 and 2. And here's where it's going to change a little bit. Our and of 2 is a hi-hat all by itself. Now we're going to add our 16th note right after that. So what we'll have is 1 and 2 and 2 and Remember, we count 16 notes, 2 E and okay? So this 16th note is going to fall in the back half of that on 1 and 2 and now we're going to repeat 3 and 4, and back to 1. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and So instead of having our 16th note on E, we're having it now on Let's put that together a little bit faster so we can see what it sounds like when we are feeling comfortable. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, That might sound a little bit familiar from songs that you've heard before on the radio or other songs that you love. So 16th note patterns are very common and very popular in lots of music. So it's great to start practicing these things and learning them. Last one I have for you today, very famous drum beat. You've probably definitely heard this one. And it's all based around the 16th note snare patterns here, okay? Right up front, we're just gonna have 1 and, okay? 1 kick drum, 1 and 2. And now here's where we're going to add in our 16 notes, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. A little bit tricky, right? But let's break it down, okay? We have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we'll have kick drum on 1, we'll have a kick drum on the and of 3, and we'll have a last kick drum on the and of 4. 3 kick drums total in this measure. Everything else is going to be hi-hat on 8th notes, snare drum on 2 and 4, but then we have 2 16th notes added in there as well on of 2 and the E of 3. Sounds like a lot, but take it nice and slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When we get comfortable with that and speed it up, this is what we have. So there we have it, some 16 note patterns. Just to get us started, a little introduction. These are a little bit trickier than what we've been working on so far, but stick with it, take it slow, keep on practicing. All right, see you next time.